into my normal bench warm up, which is 3 movements. We go dumbbell external rotation off the knee. So here with the dumbbell, I usually grab a 25. I like to set up on a bench too, where I'm higher up as opposed to being on the ground. Just rotate all the way down, rotate back up here. So we'll go 10 here. All right, second move, I just grab some 2.5s or 5s. I just call these pro and W presses. I think I'll keep my shoulder blades off the ground. Pulling my scapula together. Thumbs up. I'll go 10 here. The third move I always go, it's just a pull apart. So I grab a band, keep my arms straight, and just pull the shoulder blades together, get the root outs going. I'll go 20 here. And then I'll just go through that whole cycle 2 times. So I'll go back through it. It takes like 6 minutes. Helps bulletproof the shoulders. We're getting started on bench, just warmed up, got the shoulders moving, feeling good. Now let's progressively build up. Also real quick, I'm a big pen and paper guy. I always have a notebook in the gym. Been doing this pretty much my whole lifting career, so I have like a bunch of these throughout the years. And I've been seeing people hating on the old school pen and paper. It's sick to have pen and paper in the gym. Look, any way you track your workouts, whether that's on the Notes app, whether that's on like a certain app is fine, but I'm a huge fan of the pen and paper. It's fun. I don't know, I think it's nice to like just write stuff down, and I don't like being on my phone in the gym. I feel like I'm on my phone so much outside the gym. Like when I am in the gym, I use it just to change music. I put on Do Not Disturb, and I don't like going on. So again, no hate on that. If that works for you, the Notes app or using a certain app, and keep doing it. But if you like the pen and paper method, I highly suggest it. How I set it up, whenever I do a workout, I put like, if you can see here, I'll put the date, like what I'm hitting today. I'm doing a push day. Later today, I'll do cardio and abs. And then I just list it down. So bench is my first movement today. I want to hit one set of 3 to 5, 375. I'll just put an X. I'll put the number of reps I get there. And then usually on this side, I'll put like how the RPE of it, if it's like a bench or a weighted dip. If it's more of an accessory movement, then I'll put how many reps in reserve if I went to failure. And then I just put it all the way down. I put what my goal is for it. And then I can look back from last week when I hit this session, and I can get my weights and see what I hit. So big pen and paper guy. Old school, sometimes the best way to do it. If you struggle, if you don't like being on your phone in the gym, which I hate being on my phone, I highly suggest this. Just an easy way to track it, and then obviously you can go back and look at what you hit the week before. So we'll get ripping today. We'll start with bench. Let's rip. All right, we got 375, which is estimated like 90%. I hit 410 for C. I don't think that was a true 100%. I think I could hit 415, 420, but 410, this would be about 90%. So we'll kind of see if I can hit this for more than 4, then I know my max is definitely higher, but I hit 365 for a 2x5 like 4 days ago. So let's go 375, 90% AMRAP set, aiming for as many reps as possible. If we can get 5, that'll be sick, but in that 3 to 5 range ideally. So let's rip. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Oh, hell yeah, I'll take 4. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Yeah, stop. Oh, hell yeah. Ooh, appreciate it. Great. All right, for that second set, we dropped it down to 355, and I'm gonna hit that for one more set. So essentially I did about 90%. You know, I got 4 reps there, which probably is a true 90%. Like my bench being in like that, I hit 410, but probably in that 410, 420 range. So 4 reps there, and then I'm just dropping 5% off. End up hitting that for 6, so I'm pretty stoked with that. I'm gonna do one more set there. Essentially all 3 of these sets I just go, that's why I get a spotter now, so I could go like 0 reps of reserve or failure if I wanted to, but on both those, like I was barely getting that last one. So awesome, love having that. I got a sick chest pump. I know I say this every time, I get a chest pump so quickly. It's awesome, but when I'm like benching or doing like heavy dips, you know, it takes a lot of time to recover in between because like I wait till it to go, my pump goes down to hit the set again. So we'll go one more set here. Golly day, look at my hair. Man, hair's getting, I'm a shaggy ass dog over here, bro. I need to get a cut. I keep saying I need a cut, but I kind of actually like it longer. I don't know. I was always a buzz cut guy, but I'm trying to be a flow bro. And, you know, I'm not saying I got, you know, some 10-inch swells on my head, but I think we're working with some like 3-inch swells. You know, I think we're getting there. I think the flow is coming. So give it a couple more weeks. We'll see how it looks, but we're going to set 3 here. Ooh. 3, 2, 1.
There you go. Come on. Yep.
All right, take 5. All right, you know what time it is. Bench, followed by heavy dips, baby. So 3 sets of bench, got top set of 90, got 4, and then we went down to 85, got 6 and 5. All sets, nice and hard, nice and heavy. So I like being, especially for all my bench work, my heavy compounds, I just love being in that 4 to 8 range. That's where I pretty much sit for most of the time. I get most of my volume there, and then occasionally, you know, I'll go into the 1s and 2s if I feel like working towards something. But pretty much all my heavy compound limits 4 to 8 range. 4 to 6 probably is my most ideal range, and then for my accessories like that 6 to 10 range, and then like smaller muscles like 8 to 12. So I like hitting kind of a variety of rep ranges. But we'll go dips next. So dips, we got 4 plates, 180. And we are gonna rip this sucker for 3 sets. I hit this for 2 sets of 6 last week. If I could hit 3 sets of 6 today, that would be cool. But essentially every set I'm just gonna go 0 reps of reserve. So we'll see what we can get. Chalked up, ready to rip. One thing I really emphasize with dips is making sure I get a full range of motion. So I always do dips facing this way, and I just imagine there's a bar here, and I'm trying to touch my chin to the bar. Similar like on a bench press, you touch your bar to your chest, standard range of motion, just so you have like a standard each time, so you know you're hitting depth. So I really come here, bring my chin below the bar, and that means I'm getting, you know, my elbows above my shoulders, and I'm getting the full range of motion. So we got 180 today, which is about 85% my 1 rep max, plus I'm like 215 this morning, so was that 395? We'll go 3 sets here. Let's rip. All right, we got set 3 here. I only got 5 on the last set. I failed. I think I didn't miss groove, but I got a little too deep on that 6-1 in my last set, and I was 3/4 of the way up, but I couldn't lock it out. So only got 5, but we'll try to get 5 to 6 here again. I got a sick chest pump going on right now. Nothing better than heavy bench and heavy dips to just rip open your chest. I can't believe people are anti-dip, anti-bench. First off, even like it's just fun to bench a lot. I mean, if anyone ever finds out you lift, they always go, how much you bench? That's always the first question. And if you're like, oh, and there's no hate on people, but if you're like, I don't really bench, I like machine stuff. Again, no hate on that. Everyone has their own goals. But if you don't bench just because you're like, you heard you're not supposed to bench, start benching. It's great for your chest. It's great for strength. And you can throw around a sick number. And also do your dips. Do your dips heavy. Ooh. Damn. 5. All right, boys, we'll go 3rd movement here. So heavy bench, heavy dips. Now we'll go just 2 sets of overhead press, so it'll be 8 total sets of pressing. It's kind of what I keep it around, like each set I feel like is perfect for me. Again, I like doing a lot of pressing. I mean, it's a push day. I love pressing, so I always gonna do some sort of bench press variation, some sort of either dip or incline press variation, and then some sort of overhead press. Press, press, press. So here, been loving the old Smith machine seated press. Just really like it, man. I've been loving the Smith. you know, the evolution of the Smith machine's kind of been interesting. I remember when I first started lifting, 2013, I remember people were always like the memes were always like, oh, you're soft. Pretty much you're soft if you use the Smith machine. It would be like somebody like, oh, what's your max squat? And they'd tell you like on a Smith machine, and like you'd be like, oh, that's soft, bro. But now I love the Smith machine. Other people love the Smith machine, so it's kind of funny. So shout out the Smith machine for seeing through the early days when it was getting bullied. People were making fun of it. Now people realize how great of a machine this is. Actually, the first gym I went to growing up, they didn't have a squat rack. They just had a Smith machine. So what I used to have to do, so I had a squat rack at my house. We had like a rack with a barbell, all the plates in my house. But the reason I would go to this gym is because they had a bunch of machines, dumbbells, and more stuff. So what I used to do is I used to squat at my house and then bike to the gym and do the rest of my leg day. Because it was about 3 miles down the street. It was in my neighborhood, so I'd bike down the street and then hit the rest of my leg day. So because I never wanted to use a Smith machine, I'm like, I'm not squatting on the Smith machine. I got a barbell squat. And I'm glad I did. Obviously, it set me up for future success. But that's to say now, I love the Smith machine. It's a great piece of machinery. I love it for Bulgarians. I love it for overhead press. I've never really done squats, but I could see why people like squats on here, or RDLs, or bent over rows, but it's funny. Shout out the Smith machine. Shout out it taking the hate early on. If you know, it used to be, all the memes used to be like anti-Smith machine. It was kind of funny. So now it's a big winner. So we'll go 2 sets here. I got 2 plates on each side. Apparently this bar online, the brand Fettel, it says it weighs 20 pounds. It always feels a lot heavier, but we'll go with what it says online. So 20 plus 180, we got 200. Let's go 2 sets here. Rip it. We got the second G-Raid right here. So we're carb maxing. As I said, already drank one, slurping on the second 100 grams of carbs. Might seem like a lot. And honestly, it is a lot, but guess what? I feel freaking great. This carb maxing, fellas, has been awesome. Pre and intro workout, I feel great. You know, we're on moving 3. I just, throughout the workout, I just chug a lug at it. You know, I try to, space it out so I don't finish it until the end and just sip on it throughout. So let's rip here. Let's get a good press. Also, when I do the bench here, I don't go all the way up because it's too much on my shoulder. I usually have it 1 notch below. So I think it's about a 75-degree incline, so it's a little more upright. Ooh, let's rip. Oh yeah. All the pressing done. Now it's time for a freaking city blast. Oh my goodness, I love this pec deck machine. This Arsenal pec deck, I don't know what I would do to it, but I love it. It's great because you can squeeze at the top. You can really push into it. So obviously most flies, they're just kind of set and you're kind of like that, but this one you can like bend your elbows a little more, really drive in. The squeeze on it's super nice, but obviously the stretch as well. So 3 sets here, probably not like that 7 to 10 range, wherever we're at, just go to failure each set. Again, I like doing all the heavy presses first, and then we get into the isolation work, kind of traditional, strength, then hypertrophy, kind of following up after that, and then more isolation as we go. So we'll go for pec deck fly, 3 sets here, we'll go ladder raise, and then we'll finish with triceps. Just have a good freaking pump to finish this off. So let's really focus on that stretch, that squeeze, get a good pump going. Oh. Stretch, squeeze, oh yeah, oh, come on, big stretch. All right, chest hella pumped. Let's pump the delts again, baby. We'll go another Arsenal piece, just a ladder raise here. You can obviously use dumbbells. Dumbbells are goated as well. I just like this one because you get that tension throughout. It feels really good, and I feel like I do a better job pausing and controlling. I'm trying to avoid like shrugging because I always do that when I do it, so I'm really trying to slight pause at the top, controlling the way down. 3 sets here. Let's rip. Slight pause, control. All right, next up we got my favorite tricep. I love skull crusher and skull crusher variations. Forever, I've just done an easy bar skull crusher where I do like almost like a pullover with it, if you've seen it. Not going to my skull, but going behind my head to get that extra stretch. Love that. I've really done that probably every week for as long as I've lifted. And then recently though, in the last couple months, transitioned, I guess, or changed to a dumbbell variation of it, which I really like. And recently, I've been doing a dumbbell decline. So if you have access to a decline bench, I've never really used a decline bench before, but I know C-Bum's a big fan of the decline skull crusher. It's like one of his favorite tricep movements. So, I mean, I love doing it on a flat bench, but I think the decline is nice because I feel like I get way more tension at the top and it feels good throughout. So when I'm doing skull crushers, really try to keep my elbows locked in, just extending, trying to almost like turn towards my shoulder at the bottom, and then really think about the top. It's almost trying to give like a thumbs up at the top so I can really kind of flex my triceps. So we'll just go 2 sets here. Turn, press. Oh. Man. All right, last move of the day, we're just gonna go a single arm push down. Been loving these with a cable, just grabbing the top of it, anchor my other hand down, just really pushing, really thinking about the lockout, squeezing. We'll go kind of higher rep here, 8 to 12. Finish the steps off right, just 2 sets. All right, rounding up the nutrition. We had the pre-workout, we had the fruit, 100 grams of carbs right there to help fuel the training. Intra-workout, we're sipping on carbs throughout, 100 grams of carbs right there to make sure we're feeling good. Just had a great lift. Now we got to get the post-workout. So we got the pre, we got the intra, we got the post, and really just the importance of like food around meal or around training has been something I've been emphasizing. Like maybe I've been great at like my dinners and meals later in the day, but I've been really hammering that pre, intra, and post, and it's definitely made differences. So here I actually stopped at Whole Foods, which if you've been watching, when I lived in Richmond, I went to Whole Foods legitimately 2 to 3 times a day, every single day. And I would just get like one thing at a time because I lived right down the street from it. And since I've moved to Boston, there's actually one like a mile from my apartment, but I never go here. And I think I need to start going here because I've learned with myself, my nutritional habits have changed drastically in the last couple of months. I've started craving a lot more processed foods. And it's because I think I'm lazy. I hate cooking, and I keep, going for convenience, and I'll go like, Chipotle, or I'll go somewhere pre-made, or I'll just get like pre-made meals. And I keep trying to buy groceries to make food, and I keep buying them and then wasting them because I cook something and it tastes horrible because I'm not a great cook. So I think I realized I just need to go back to Whole Foods again. I think it's worth the price for me. Look, I don't splurge on a lot of things. I don't really buy much clothes or like shoes or jewelry or anything. So it's like, why not splurge on food? Because considering how important food is for everything else I do, kind of like in my mind, food, it's a part of my job essentially, right? The better I eat, the better I can train, the better the videos I can make. It kind of all correlates. So it's like, honestly, I should be going to Whole Foods more. And that's just because I'm too lazy to cook. And the reason I say that is because they have so many pre-made meals or just cooked meats and things that are just so good and it's nutritious. And like this meal right here, if you've been a follower for a while, I would eat whole food salmon literally every single day, sometimes twice a day. And then I've barely have gotten in the last like 5 or 6 months. And I need to get back to craving food like this, because when I was, you know, probably my leanest or just felt the best, it was when I was eating stuff like this 3 to 4 times a day, when I was just craving those foods. And then I wasn't binging as frequently, or when I would binge, it would be on foods that aren't like as bad. Like now I'm binging on the worst processed foods out there: fast food, gas station, ice cream, like candy bars, stuff like that. And I think it's because I've gotten so used to having more and more processed stuff that makes it easier to binge on that. Whereas like when I was eating like this, you know, how I've normally been eating for the last couple of years, when I would binge, it would be on like food. It would just be like eating more of stuff like this, or I would crave like, you know, nutrient dense stuff and just having a lot of it rather than these shitty binges. So I think that's kind of a big thing I've been noticing. It's like my taste buds and my taste has kind of changed over the last couple of months. And I think it's because I've been having more processed stuff and I've been eating less good foods like this. And then that processed stuff like leads me to binging on more processed stuff, rather than, okay, if I'm gonna binge and I binge on something, like I go to you know, like a restaurant, it's a bunch of meat and rice and veggies. That's not bad. That's way better than going to a bakery and a bunch of muffins and cookies and ice cream. So I think it really is like, it comes down that I'm starting to notice in these things. I know I talked about my last video, kind of binging. I made this whole diagram and I'm kind of figuring it out, because I've realized with the binge eating, it's not something that's going to disappear overnight. It's getting a little better. I'm still binging. It's still happening, but I'm starting to notice signs like how I can get better and, you know, eventually eliminate it. So I think one big thing is being more intentful with my nutrition and spend a little more money, but eat higher quality foods that are going to fill you up, that are going to make you feel good, because it's going to tie into everything. So with that whole tangent said, that whole rant, we got the post-workout meal here. It's pretty hot, so I'm glad I talked, because I just microwaved it. We got 0.6 pounds. What would that be? What's that, like 9-10 ounces? So we got like 10 ounces of the salmon, and then we got about, actually I should check the receipt. I don't know how much rice. I'm gonna guesstimate this about 300 grams of rice right here. Probably not even that much. 250 grams of white rice right here, and we'll scoop this down. So we got protein, we got carbs post-workout. So that's kind of a full wrap. Carbs to start the workout, you know, about 30 to 60 minutes before training. Carbs while we train, carbs and protein post-training. Keep it simple. You know, I think for my nutrition, it's just making small little changes, and it can make all the difference. So I saw a quote recently. It was, fix a leak before you fill the bucket. So rather than adding in new stuff, fix something in your life. What do I got to fix in my life? It's this binge eating. It's this nutrition thing. Let's work backwards. All right, what's causing it? And we'll work from there. So that's what we're doing. So got this right here, long rant right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Salmon looks good. Stack the damn days. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.